really quick before Mrs. Goller gets started, I just want to show you what I have posted for us for the rest, just as a fun optional activity going into next week. So this week is Hour of Code, which is the celebration around our world of programming and coding activities. And so in a way to promote Hour of Code, a lot of our coding and programming companies have come up with really with free and really fun activities. I know we did this a little bit last year, but what I did this year is I put together a choice board, which pulls some of the ones that most kids enjoy into a choice board, so you guys can enjoy some programming and coding games this week. This is optional, so if you don't have time to do it, then do not feel badly. However, once you see some of them, you might want to make some time. And you guys can work on this between now and the next time we see you through next Friday. I'm going to share my screen really quickly just so that you guys, to show you what I'm talking about. So I'm going to pull up. Here is our grade 2 Google Classroom. And under classwork right here, you'll see Mrs. Goller's media Zoom post right here about Native. She'll talk about in a minute. I have a post that's getting ready to be scheduled here for 2:45, so that's in just a little bit. And this is going to say Media Coding Choice Board, and that it's optional. So I'm going to take a moment to show you what it looks like. But when we are done with our class today, if you guys want to go out to Google Classroom to this week's specials and go to the media post, you'll see this. So this is what it looks like. Here are some coding videos if you'd like to know a little bit more about loops and conditionals and debugging. Here are 3 fun programming games that you can play to create and code music. Here are 3 robot options, or Lego Robotics, excuse me, not Lego Robotics, but robotics, so programming a Lego. This one right here, I was super excited to find. This is called Bits, and I think this is new, but this is from Lego. So if you really enjoy Lego, then this might be a place that you want to stop to check out, just so that you can see what this is all about. Then there's this one that I found called Santa Tracker, and it's created by Google. Super exciting things in here. I'm going to hit play just so that you can see what it's all about. Even if you do not celebrate Christmas, there are non-Christmas activities in here. There's just so much to celebrate, or excuse me, to celebrate, but also to play. If we scroll down here, you'll see that there's a bunch of stuff hidden in here. So if you keep scrolling, there's all like this gumball tilt, looks like caption. You have some elf stuff. There's a snowball fight down here somewhere. So when you get onto Santa Tracker, if you just scroll down, then you find all these like Penguin Dash, Snowball Storm, Slingshot. There's a racing game. There's some coding in here. This one's fun. It's like a puzzle. So I encourage you guys to check that one out. This Beaver Achiever is a fun coding experience where you help the beaver build his dam by programming logs to be cut down and put up, stacked up, so he can have his dam. Dragon Blast is a dragon coding experience where you will program your dragon to go through several different obstacles and collect coins, or gems, I think is probably the better way to explain it. Cygirls Code Quest is from PBS, and many of you will enjoy this. We have Candy Quest, a Hot Wheels programming, 2 Minecraft choices if you enjoy playing Minecraft. These would be some programming for Alex and Steve. We have a Star Wars. I know many of you are Star Wars fans, so there's a Star Wars programming challenge. And then, of course, the Grinch. What would this time of year be without the Grinch? So I wanted to put a Grinch hour of code in there as well. So after class today, if you guys want to spend a minute or the rest of this week exploring some fun programming and coding games, you are more than welcome to. And you can find them on the media post that's in Google Classroom.
Oh.
Sloan, do you have a question?
How do you get on that thing again?
let me I'll show you one more time. So if you go to our Google Classroom page, right? And then you scroll down to the week of December 7th specials. This is where you would find all your special stuff. So here's where your music stuff is, your PE, your art, your Spanish. Here is the Native American research post for media, but then in just a minute, we'll have another post here that's called media, and then it's gonna called coding choice board. Okay?
I got it. I see.
Okay, great. Let's see, Media Piggy, otherwise known as Brooklyn.
I'm missing my Native American sheet.
Oh, you're missing it? You were taking notes last week on. Oh, bummer. Have your mom send me an email and I can email her another copy of it, okay? Okay. Any other questions? Okay, Sloan, go ahead.
When is this thing due? Like it, like
Your research.
when is the research due?
Next Thursday. I'd like for you to have all of your research done before we go to winter break.
Winter break?
Mm-hmm.
Break. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Anybody else have any questions? All right, so I'm going to share my screen with you guys. So we can, and actually we're going to go back to almost exactly where Mrs. Baker was just a minute ago. I'm going to go to Google Classroom. And here under the classwork, it's going to go, it's for the same thing, this week of December 7th specials. And then it's this one that Mrs. Baker did not click on. So it's the media Zoom meeting. So if you click right here, it just says, please continue working on your Native American research questions. All of the answers you need can be found in the links that you were provided. So we're going to open the link below, where you're going to find the name of your tribe and the topic that you're researching. Then you're going to click on the 2 or 3 links that you have there and look in those specific areas. Remember that we're looking for the headings that are in quotation marks. And then you can read through those few paragraphs and you will be able to find the information to answer your questions. So if I click on this page, this opens up all the websites that you guys have access to. Hold on, there we go. All right, so for instance, if I am supposed to be doing, let's say I'm gonna do the Tlingit tribe, and I'm in charge of looking up stuff about food. Let me make this bigger. And I'm in charge of looking up stuff about food. So I'm going to come down here to where it says Tlingit, and then I'm going to look where it says food, and then see how right here I've got a link. So what I'm looking for when I get in there is, what was the Tlingit food like in the days before supermarkets? That's one of them. So let's click on that. That's going to come up like that. All right, so the heading I'm looking for is, what was food like before they had supermarkets? And I know that one's down here a little ways. All right, here we go, it's right here. What was Tlingit food like in the days before supermarkets? So I'm gonna read this paragraph. And this paragraph is gonna answer some of the questions. Okay, so when I'm finished with that, I can go back to the original page up here. And then the other one I'm going to look for is, what were Tlingit weapons and tools like in the past? So I can go back to that same page that I was just on. Oh, look, and it's right here. It's right underneath the one about food. It says, what were Tlingit weapons and tools like in the past? So you can read these 2 or 3 sentences and it should answer most of the rest of your questions. If you have any questions on your paper that you cannot find the answer to, have one of your parents send me an email, and I will see if I can help you figure out why we can't find the answer. Okay, so I'm going to unshare my screen now. Does anybody have any questions about how that works? You guys had a chance to answer some of the questions on your paper already? Yes, no? Have you answered some questions on your paper already? One person. Only one person has worked on this? Oh, okay. If you have not had a chance to work on it, put your thumbs down. Uh-oh, okay. So you've got a full week to do it, and really it shouldn't take you too long because there are only, just a few paragraphs you're going to have to read. So I think you guys should do pretty well. Those of you that have already started, is anybody finished? I know Hattie is. Okay, so if yeah, just keep working on it. If you're finished, that's great. If you're not, you still have another week to finish it up before we meet again. Anybody have any questions at all? Sloan, do you see how it works and how you need to get where you need to go? Okay. All right. All right. Anything else we need to go over? All right. If you guys think of more questions, let me know. How about if I read a book to you guys? You can do that? All right. Let's do that. All right. I'm going to share my screen again. And this one is up for the Young Hoosier Book Award. It is called Harriet Gets Carried Away. And this is written by Jessie Sima, who also wrote Not Quite Narwhal. So raise your hand. Okay, so the author's last name is spelled S-I-M-A. Whoops, let me move it up a little bit. There we go. So raise your hand if you can tell me what I'm going to see on the spine label. Brooklyn?
And
Say that again.
S-I-M.
That's right. And what's going to be right above that? It's an everybody book, so it's going to be an E. That's right. There you go. E-S-I-M. Very good. All right, here we go. Harriet gets carried away. There she is with her friends in the park. Harriet loved costumes. Look, she's got a whole trunk full. She didn't save them for Halloween or only wear them to dress up birthday parties. Harriet wore costumes all the time. On the morning of her own dress-up birthday party, Harriet was a busy bee. We still need to pick up some snacks from the grocery store, her dad said, and lots of party hats, Harriet added. Her dads shared a look. Okay, they said, but don't get carried away. Harriet was sure she could manage that. She changed into her extra special errand running costume and straightened her bow tie. They waddled down the street, through the subway, and into the store. Her dad seemed to have the deli counter covered, so Harriet set off on a quest for the perfect party hat. But instead, she found something else. Very peculiar. I have never seen penguins at a store buying ice. Harriet forgot all about the party hats. Look at this, she is getting carried away by those penguins, isn't she? She waddled past the checkout lines, through the city, and out of town. Where are we going? Harriet asked excitedly. Back home, of course, a penguin answered. The city is a nice place to visit, but I wouldn't want to live there. I had no idea that penguins traveled by hot air balloon. As the balloons floated farther from the city, Harriet's thoughts floated back to her birthday party. Excuse me, said Harriet. I don't think I belong here. That's okay, the penguins replied. Everyone feels like they don't fit in sometimes. Maybe you should lose the bow tie. But Harriet didn't care about fitting in. She cared about getting back to the store. So she straightened her bow tie.
Beckett, do you have a question?
No, but wouldn't their ice just melt?
Well, yeah, it would. It would. I don't know why they're buying ice to take it back with them. That seems kind of silly, doesn't it? All right, so she hatched a plan. So here she goes. Look at this. The ice is even melting up there. And another. Things were not going smoothly. Harriet was almost out of ideas when one emerged from the sea. Hey, said the orca, you're not a penguin. How did you know? Cried Harriet. Penguins don't wear bow ties. Harriet realized that this orca might just be her ticket home. So she told him her tale of costumes and penguins and hot air balloons. She told him all about her family and her city and the party hats she needed to find. And when her story was finished, she said, I could really use a lift. Oh, look at that. Look at that, she gave him the bow tie. It just so happens I'm heading up north for a family reunion, replied the orca. I could drop you off along the way in exchange for a fancy red bow tie. That seemed like a fair trade. As the orca swam, Harriet daydreamed. Oh, look what she's daydreaming of. Statue of Liberty, and then them jumping over the Statue of Liberty. Once Harriet could make out the city in the distance, the orca came to a halt. This is as far as I can go, he said. So Harriet called in a favor from some friends she knew from the park. We'll take it from here, they said. Oh, look at that. Her friends picked her up and flew her back to home. There must be some strong pigeons. Could you imagine looking up and seeing a penguin flying across the city like that? It would be something to see. Harriet soared back into the store and headed straight for the party hats. It didn't take long to pick out the perfect hats.
That looks fun riding in the air like that.
What's that?
That looks fun riding in the air.
That would be fun, wouldn't it?
Uh-huh. It'd be like a big roller coaster over an ocean.
Yeah, it would. She found her dads at the deli just where she had left them. Where did you sneak off to? They asked. Oh, I just went to get the party hats, said Harriet. Oh, and I could use a new red bow tie, she said. With hats in hands, Harriet waddled back through the subway, up the street, and into her room. She put on her birthday party costume, straightened her party hat, and headed up to the roof. All right, so now she's dressed up as a lion. She has a lot of costumes. The party was a great success, and no one got carried away. Somebody in one of the other classes pointed out, I had not noticed this. Look who's at the party. She's got an actual penguin at her party. I don't know how they got there, but that's pretty cool. All right, and nobody got carried away. Well, except maybe Olivia. Look, so Olivia brought a bunch of wolves with her. That's pretty crazy. All righty, there's that book. Look at this. What city do you think this might be in? Anybody know? What do you think, Brooklyn?
New York, because yeah, the top of the Statue of Liberty.
That's right. Because the Statue of Liberty is in New York, and they're famous for pizza too, aren't they? All right, there we go. Oh, look at this. And here is a picture of the author dressed up as a bird. Wow, that's quite a costume. All right, there's that. Now, we actually have time for one more book, so I'm going to read this other one too. This is also up for the Young Hoosier Book Award, and it's called A Place for Pluto. It's written by Steph Wade, illustrated by Melanie Demmer. So, who can tell me what I'm going to see on the spine label? Anybody? Nobody knows? That's so sad. Gavin, is your
Beckett
hand
knows.
up? Alina, you want to go ahead and tell me?
EADE.
Actually, it's going to be WAD. It's the first
Oh
three.
yeah,
of the alphabet.
W.
Very good. Good guess, though. Very good. In E, because it's an everybody book. All right, here we go. A Place for Pluto. All right, here we have our publication information, and here's our dedication page. For the better part of forever, Pluto was a planet, one of the famous 9: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. He was the smallest and the farthest from the sun, but he was proud just the same. Then one day, Saturn with her rings flashing and Jupiter with his entourage of moons beside him told Pluto the worst news ever. You're not a planet anymore. You're just not big enough. Sorry. Even though Pluto orbited around the sun and was mostly round, the creatures on Earth decided he was too small. But I'm in all the school books. Time to rewrite history. I don't have time for this. I've got visitors to prepare for. Uh-oh. So Mars is getting ready for visitors from Earth, it looks like. Pluto was crushed. He tried to protest, but it was no use. Feeling sad and rejected, Pluto left with Charon and his 4 other moons by his side to find his place in the galaxy. As Pluto moved along, his friend Halley's comet streaked past. Hey, haven't seen you in a while. Yeah, I get that a lot. Halley was a comet and still a part of the solar system, but comets have tails and Pluto did not. Pluto wasn't a comet or a planet. He was a nobody. Feeling more blue than brown, Pluto kept moving. When Pluto saw Jim, Percy, and Ori crashing in as dusty, rocky comet tails, he wondered if he could join them. The meteoroids were always having fun and clowning around. This time, they were trying to smash into Earth. You should try this, Pluto. No, thanks. Earth is kind of like a mother to me. Then Ida the asteroid orbited by. Pluto and Ida were nearly the same size. Pluto thought he'd finally figured out his true identity. Hey, Ida, do you mind if I join you for a spin in the asteroid belt? Wish you could, Pluto, but the rule book says rocks only. You know asteroids are rocks, right? Pluto wasn't a planet or a comet or an asteroid. He missed being a planet. He missed his old friends. He missed feeling like he belonged. Too small to be a planet, too big to be a rock. I used to fit in here, but now I do not. No one in the solar system was a match for Pluto. He spun around the sun like everyone else, but he wasn't a planet or a comet or an asteroid or a meteoroid. Pluto had nowhere to turn. He was about to give up when he saw someone he'd never seen before. He felt like he was looking in a mirror. Pardon me if I sound rude, but what are you? I'm a dwarf planet. My name is Eris, and these are my friends, Hamia, Makemake, and Ceres. Pluto stared in wonder at the 4 dwarf planets. They were too small to be planets, but too big to be rocks. They were not planets or comets or asteroids or meteoroids. They were just like him. You're just who I've been searching for. Really? Then you should join us. Pluto felt more like himself than ever before. He couldn't wait to tell his old friends about his new ones. Turns out his old friends missed him too. Just because you're not a planet anymore doesn't mean we don't love you. When this one says, we're sorry, Pluto. And they have a cake that says, we love Pluto on it. Isn't that sweet? Pluto was over the moon. He was a part of the solar system with friends, both old and new. He smiled an intergalactic smile that was out of this Milky Way. Let's celebrate with some chocolate. These feelings warm me to the core. I can feel the love. The sun says, you all make me dizzy. Dwarf planet has a nice ring to it. I'm so glad you're making friends, honey. Neighbors forever. Dwarf planets rock. Glad you're not feeling blue anymore. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Way to go, little man. And Haley's comment says, till we meet again. All right, so then here's some interesting facts about Pluto. So it says, what's the deal with Pluto? In 1930, Pluto was discovered as the 9th planet in the solar system. I made it, awesome. In 2006, Pluto was told he was not a planet anymore. Bummer. Poor Pluto. Why? Scientists decided that to be a planet, it must orbit around the sun, have a round shape, and be able to clear its own orbit by pulling asteroids toward itself, making the asteroids part of the planet. Are you kidding me with this? Pluto does orbit around the sun and is mostly round, but Pluto is small, only about half the size of the United States, and shares the area around its orbit with Neptune and many other large objects in an area called the Kuiper Belt. But Pluto isn't alone. Other dwarf planets like Ceres, Eris, Haumea, and Makemake cannot clear an object out of their orbits, out of their paths either. And here it says BFFs. Isn't that sweet? All right, guys, that is it. We are just about out of time. So let me unshare my screen and we can say our goodbyes.
Bye.
All right, be sure to have your parents send me an email if you have any questions.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
All right, so you three can go ahead and leave the meeting because we're getting ready for the next class, please. Yeah, just one more.
Daniel, are you frozen? Oops.
I think it was frozen.
Yeah.
I'm kicking my kids outside because it's too nice to be inside today.
Yeah.
I mean, it's December and it's like in the 60s, you know? So. Hi, everyone.
Hello. My name